Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. George Cohn from the Lest We Forget World War II Museum in Louisville, Texas. Tonight, I would like to showcase a member of the 82nd Airborne. Let's talk about Lieutenant Worcester Morgan of the 82nd. So, I met Worcester 25, 30 years ago. Worcester Morgan hails from Highland Park, Texas, which is a little city inside of Dallas. And he was a staff sergeant in the 508 Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 82nd Airborne. Worcester, he jumped at Normandy, he jumped at Market Garden, and he told me he did 3 combat jumps. 2 were out of an airplane, and one of them was out of the back of a deuce and a half. He said it was a tailgate jump. They jumped out of the back of a truck going into the Bastogne. So Worcester fought in Bastogne. And at the end of the war, the 508 Parachute Infantry Regiment were General Eisenhower's honor guard in Frankfurt, Germany. The 508th stayed in Germany to be the honor guard for the conquering General Eisenhower, while the rest of the airborne went to New York for a big parade, a ticker tape parade in New York City. So Worcester Morgan, when he was in Frankfurt as the honor guard, the Belgian government came and they awarded him the Belgian braid for the Battle of the Bulge. And then a little later, the Dutch government came and awarded him this Dutch braid for the jump on the Netherlands, Market Garden. And if you notice his jump wings, he has 2 jump stars for 2 combat jumps. The 508 was awarded the Presidential Unit Citation. When he was actually a staff sergeant in combat, but when he was in Frankfurt in the honor guard, he was promoted to a 2nd lieutenant, and that's what he was discharged. So he was a squad leader. He was a combat sergeant. At the end of the war, promoted to a lieutenant, kind of like my father. But my dad wasn't in the paratroopers. So. Worcester Morgan. I interviewed him, and a couple weeks later he died, and his wife contacted me, and she said he so enjoyed that interview, and he was so happy for the last couple weeks of his life because he got to talk about that stuff that he hadn't talked about in a long time. She said, "I would like to give you his uniform." And so I drove over to her house, and she very kindly and graciously gave me Worcester's uniform, which has a lot of cool stuff with it. Various airborne patches that he had. Of note, what I wanted to show you were, let's see. I try to keep all this stuff together. He was a D-Day veteran. Let's see. A couple of items of interest that I would like to show you. Now, obviously, none of this that Worcester has on did he wear in combat. This is his Class A uniform as an officer, what he would have worn in the honor guard, okay? But I do have a few items of Worcester's that he would have worn in combat, and these are his dog tags. So these are his enlisted man dog tags. He received another set when you become an officer. They discharge you as an enlisted man, and you get those dog tags, and then they give you another set as an officer. You're reinstated in the military as an officer. Something else of interest, these are his jump wings, his original jump wings. And you'll notice that there's one jump, it's not a jump star, but it's like a diamond or some kind of stone that's set in there. And you can see on the back, they've drilled a hole and mounted it in there. But of interest is he has scratched on here 3743. So I believe that would be the day that he was awarded his jump wings. And then he has etched on here 6644. That would be Normandy jump. So I don't know about the jump wings, but I would assume that these dog tags went out the door of the C-47 on the night of nights at Normandy when the 82nd Airborne jumped into Normandy. So God bless Worcester Morgan.